So it's being reported that the FBI has fired Agent Peter Strzok. Now, that's a name you probably have heard all around, especially if you follow conservative publications, Fox News, Twitter, etc. Now, Strzok helped lead the Bureau's investigation into Russian interference in the 2016 election. Now, he was actually part of Mueller's team, but he had been found sending anti-Trump texts. Oh my God, how dare you send texts during the investigation? And actually, I do support his removal from the Mueller team. But nonetheless, his firing, I don't know about that. But anyway, so let's get into this, more into this article here. Eitan Goldman, Strzok's lawyer, said FBI Director David L. Bowditch had ordered the firing on Friday, even though the director of the FBI office that normally handles employee discipline has decided Strzok should face only a demotion and a 60-day suspension. Goldman said the move undercuts the FBI's repeated assurances that Strzok would be afforded the normal disciplinary process. So basically, he said in a statement, this isn't the normal process in any way more than name. This decision should be deeply troubling to all Americans. Well, look, to be fair, a lot of what's going on should be deeply troubling to all Americans. But that's okay. Let me give you some more context. Let me give you some details into what this is actually all about. Now, several months ago, a Justice Department Inspector General investigation had uncovered what they call politically charged messages that Strzok had exchanged with another FBI official, that is Lisa Page, is a person whom he is having an affair with. Okay, all that fun stuff aside, whatever, right? That's really not the crux of the issue here. Now, these text messages, of course, were anti-Trump. They were also anti-Bernie Sanders, in which he called Sanders an idiot. So just to show you where he was in the political spectrum. Soon after that, though, conservatives only focused on his anti-Trump messages. Now, to be clear, again, he was anti-Trump. He was anti-Bernie Sanders. He didn't like really a lot of the other candidates. Maybe he was like tepid towards Hillary Clinton, but again, he was afraid that the FBI, what they were doing, and Bernie Sanders supporters actually would hurt the Hillary Clinton campaign. And look, a lot of people were concerned that President Trump, that candidate Trump would become the president. And unfortunately, that happened. And even conservatives knew that there would be a bit of a disaster if that happened. And of course, here we have disaster. But one message really stood out in particular to a lot of pro-Trump conservatives. It's when Ms. Page asked, Trump is not ever going to become president, right? Right? Mr. Strzok responds, no, he won't. We'll stop it. Oh my God. See, they look at that and go, we'll stop it. Deep state conspiracy. Here's the FBI, an FBI agent saying, we will stop him from becoming president. Well, Trump is president. Some conspiracy. I thought the deep state was supposed to stop Donald Trump. He didn't. But you say, oh, well, because Trump's smarter than the deep state. Oh my God, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. That literally, like, if there is such a thing called deep state, that Donald Trump is just such a genius, a very stable genius, that he could outwit the deep state conspirators is ridiculous. Just think about that for a minute. If that's what you believe, you might want to, I don't know, look into that a little bit more. But anyway, no, in reality, look, by we will stop it, he means the voters, which obviously he was also very wrong about, because voters, they were not thrilled with Hillary Clinton. This was Hillary Clinton's election to lose, and she lost it. She didn't campaign in Michigan, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin. She didn't try to get those voters. Instead, she focused on, suburban Republican voters, which never showed up for her. They weren't there. She ignored the base. We've been through this a million times. But anyway, here's the thing about the FBI. The FBI is, they're not full of liberals, okay? They're not full of progressives. These people are Republicans. These people are conservative, right? And there are a lot of officials inside the FBI that are also pro-Trump. So you have this narrative, right, about the Mueller team, which is FBI, right? That this is nothing more than a witch hunt by 13 angry Democrats. But none of them are Democrats. They're all Republicans. They're all very conservative, but there are some that actually do care about the law. There are some that actually do care about whether or not there is a sitting president that got help from a foreign country, and whether or not he knew that he was getting help and actively solicited the help of said foreign country. Okay? But anyway, with this firing, you have nothing short of a symbolic win for Donald Trump. And believe me, he knows it. In fact, Trump on Monday used Strzok's firing to suggest that the Russia investigation as a whole should be dropped. And not only that, but the Clinton case be redone. We need to look at her emails. We need to get back to her emails. She used, look, what Hillary Clinton did was not smart. Keeping classified emails, classified documents on a home server, that was really dumb. That was terrible for security. We've talked about that before, right? Criminal, no. I don't think at all that what she did was criminal. It was really dumb. But there's been a lot of people in the Trump administration that have also done the same thing. Use their home servers or use their personal email addresses when it comes to government work. All the stuff that Hillary did, there are people in other administrations that have also done. But nobody seemed to care about internet security until it came to this. Weird how that works. But anyway, now Trump tweeted this. Agent Peter Strzok was just fired from the FBI. Finally, the list of bad players in the FBI and DOJ gets longer and longer. Based on the fact that Strzok was in charge of the witch hunt, which he was not, will it be dropped? It is a total hoax, no collusion, no obstruction. I just fight back. Well, wait a minute. If you're saying no obstruction and then following it by I just fight back, but that is obstruction if you're fighting back. I'm just saying, like, you have to let the investigation actually go forward. And if you're actively fighting against the investigation, then you are doing obstruction. Oh, he contradicts himself immediately. Not in the same sentence. Anyway, he added, just fired Agent Strzok, formerly FBI, was in charge of the crooked Hillary Clinton sham investigation. It was a total fraud in the American public and should be properly redone. Look, here's the thing, right? Strzok was never in charge of the Mueller investigation, as I mentioned earlier. After they found that he had messages that were biased against Donald Trump, they took the right, and I think that it was the right action, to remove him from the investigation. Why? You don't want a tainted investigation. Okay? You want people that, investigators that are unbiased. You want them to do a good job. That's what you want them to do. Okay? And so I'm perfectly fine with them removing him from the Mueller case. In fact, I think that was the best thing to do. But nothing is never enough for Republicans. Nothing is ever enough for people like Donald Trump. And so here's the thing about this, right? The FBI had been investigating the allegation that the Trump campaign was colluding with Russia during the election. Okay? This was during the election, before Trump had won. The FBI had gotten some tips, and of course it started with Australian diplomat, for example, that had talked to George Papadopoulos, had a conversation with him, and in that, Papadopoulos is like, Oh, yeah. Yeah, it looks like the Russians have the emails from Hillary Clinton. They've got dirt on Hillary Clinton. And wait, you're part of Donald Trump's campaign, George. Are you saying that Donald Trump, first of all, like, you have information from the Russians, that Russia has emails from Hillary Clinton, and would you also be saying that Donald Trump doesn't know about it? Didn't actually want to know those emails? Isn't it a curious thing that after he publicly called for Russia to release the 30,000, or for somebody to release the 30,000 emails, or to find them, well, here comes Russia trying to go and hack into Hillary Clinton's servers. Isn't that weird? That's a strange coincidence, isn't it? They knew about this during the election. They didn't say anything. Why didn't they say anything? Well, they were really busy talking about Hillary Clinton's servers and the investigation into her, which, of course, James Comey came out just days before the election and was like, we are restarting an investigation into Hillary Clinton's emails, which they did not. That was literally not true, but Comey said it anyway. And look, whether or not you think that that was a big cause of her campaign not doing very well and her not winning the election, that is debatable. The point is that at some point it probably did harm her campaign, but to what extent, I'm not entirely sure, because I think that her campaign died a death of 1,000 cuts. And I've said that before, and that was just one of many cuts that killed her campaign. So the point is, right, Strzok's lawyer even said that if Strzok wanted to prevent Trump's election, which Trump is saying, then all he would have to do is leak that the campaign was under investigation. He did not, which means there's no conspiracy against Donald Trump. Nonetheless, Strzok was fired from the FBI. Look, and here's the thing about me, Strzok. I don't agree with his positions. If he is a centrist, he's part of the establishment, he's part of the FBI. There's a lot of things that I don't like, okay, about Strzok. But you have to look at it in terms of, okay, what makes sense, what's fair, right? Peter Strzok had an opinion, and he shared it. He was fired because of that. He was fired because he had an opinion, and they found out that he had an opinion. They should absolutely remove him from the case. That, again, I do not have any issue with. I think that's the right thing to do. But to completely remove him from his job for sharing an opinion, that seems ridiculous to me. Okay. So, and let me tell you why I think that he was removed. He was removed to appease Donald Trump. Now, here's the thing about that. I don't think it's going to work. I don't think that's going to be effective. Why? Because nothing short of ending the Mueller probe is going to be enough for the President of the United States, who is under investigation. Well, not personally, but his campaign has been under investigation. And he seems to hate this investigation so much and want nothing short of ending the investigation. And that's just enough to make you kind of question why. Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you want to see more like this, please hit the subscribe button below. And if you want to support truly independent progressive media, please consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/TYTNation.